Hello everyone, it's Lel, and in this video we're going to check out a very nice interview that happened on Animage. It was a corner called Depapudi Happy Kitchen, and it was an interview with the voice actors from Yui, Cure Precious, and also Kome-Kome, Hishikawa Hana and Katamori Natsumi. This interview was kindly translated to us by Inu and Climate Notre. Thank you very much. The first comment was that Yui and Kome-Kome show us a wonderful relationship after spending 38 episodes together. In particular, Kome-Kome has matured a lot. Hana says that when she first saw Kome-Kome, she thought how small she is, but she is quite big now. And Takamori, Kome-Kome's voice actor, answered, on the other hand, Yui has already been strong as of the first episode. She is straightforward, decisive, and reliable. Her personality has never changed. And this is a very nice point of view. Takamori is mentioning Yui as a character, and I really like this analysis because if we look at Delicious Party, Yui is probably the only character that hasn't changed much compared to the other ones. But she's always been that reliable stone that everyone in the cast looked up to and especially relied on to be able to grow and mature. It happened with Kokone, with Amane, and with Udan, and even Takumi to an extent. One of the questions was, what do you particularly like about each other's characters? Hishikawa answered, I like Kome-Kome's bravery and age appropriateness. Specifically, I like that she sulks and says, I'm not a child, when she is told that she is childish, which is how children are. I really love Kome-Kome's voice, especially when calling Party up. I often imitate Kome-Kome with the rest of the Precure cast. How cute is this? Takamori answered, thank you. I love Yui being healthy and fine. She was taught gratitude for meals and joy of meals by Yone and her family members, and now shares what she was taught with Kome-Kome and her friends. I think she has nothing but glow. I like her very much. Regarding each other's voice acting, what kind of part do you like? Hana said, as I just mentioned, I like Kome-Kome's voice itself, and I like when she innocently plays or chats with Pam Pam and Men Men. I'm mesmerized by such adorable situations. Takamori says that she is really glad to hear that, but her, Natsumi, and Tomoe, who voices the mascots performed in these situations, deal with a lot of trials and errors. I really like this bit because it really showcases more of the background work that goes into making a season. How could we know that the voice actors from the Energy Fairies from Delicious Party do a lot of trials and errors in their own scenes in the show? It's very cute to know this, and I can only imagine them working and laughing and having fun while trying to perfect the scenes. Hana says, really? I'd never have guessed that you ingenuously acted in those adorable scenes. It's surprising. Oh, I just remember that I'm really amazed at your different ways of acting Kome-Kome depending on her phases of growth. It feels like a girl of proper age talking. And then Takamori adds, Kome-Kome has 5 forms depending on her stage of growth. I steeled myself for the difficulty before dubbing started. However, it was far more difficult than I'd imagined. The difference is so delicate. When Kome-Kome grew the most, I had my voice fit as she did. It seemed too much because our directors asked me to retake it, telling me it sounded like an adult, so make it sound a bit cuter. I gave my attention so as not to lose her fairiness, while at the same time, I made my voice adjustments scene by scene in my dubbing. The interviewer then added, when I first heard you voice Yui, I was really impressed because I felt like you played with Yui's intrinsic brightness like Precure's did. I also got a huge impression of something like Yui's strength that came from growing up eating rice. I love how you voiced Yui in that it felt like she shouldered a huge rice bag. It naturally sounded like Yui. And Hana said, Yui carried Mari in episode 1. That scene made me feel she was a powerful girl, so I kept such dependability in my mind whenever I voiced her. Another question was, how do Yui and Kome-Kome think of each other after spending 38 episodes together? Hana answers, for Yui, Kome-Kome is indispensable. She smiles when she calls out Kome-Kome just before her transformation. She can keep smiling in a tough situation because she believes she would be alright even if she was in hardship. She can transform into Pure Precious because she is together with Kome-Kome. Kome-Kome is precious to Yui. She can't be replaced by anyone else. Takamori says, for Kome-Kome, Yui is equally precious, and she is a mother figure, a sister, a respectful person to admire. It hasn't changed since they met. In episode 28, there was a scene where Kome-Kome said, I feel bad for Precious if I don't do my part. It was so typical of her because she found herself as useless and she felt sorry for Precious, not considering herself. She felt pathetic. Experiencing such feelings, she has gradually become more useful to Yui. Now, she has grown and can fight as much as Yui can. That makes me, as her voice actor, so happy. The interviewer then mentions, in episode 38, Yui got a chance to meet Ione and Kome-Kome the first. Takamori comments, personally, it was amazing for me to have the episode itself and play Kome-Kome the first, but Kome-Kome had left during that episode and couldn't meet her ancestor. I wish she would have met him. I'm also interested in the bond between Ione and Kome-Kome the first. Hana said, I was a bit stunned at the scene where Yui was nervous when she finally got to see Ione because I actually had exactly the same feelings. I was really nervous when I acted with Yoshiko Miyazaki, who plays Grandma in the dubbing for this episode for the first time. Later that day, I got a letter from her saying, being beside you, I enjoyed the recording very much. Taking that into account, the episode contained lots of love to Yone and Miyazaki-san for me. So I hope everyone watches it over and over again. Further than that, I strongly recommend to listen to Yui's character song, Smile Menu, watching the episode so that you can deeply taste the meaning of the words in the song. For Hana, I imagine it must have been a very powerful moment. Dubbing together with Yone's voice actor, who is a veteran, and then receiving a letter from that veteran saying they enjoyed dubbing with you. Just imagine her mind and her emotions at that moment. Another question was, what scene did you get impressed by? And Hana says, in episode 37, I got a warm feeling when our sister realized deliciousness for the first time. I love it. And Takamori said, I was impressed by Kome-Kome getting scolded by Yui and Mari in episode 3. Kome-Kome was scolded with a carrot in her arms. I felt attracted to her cuteness with her tears and making no excuse about her disappearance. In addition, in episode 26, there was a scene where Kokone said, Itadakimasu, then switching to the intermission. I love it. That scene was funny. I felt like there weren't such comical scenes before then because it had described the bond between Kome-Kome and the others. Also in episode 27, I loved the scene where Dan taught Kome-Kome that it was alright to be different from others. I was glad to hear these words from Dan, who suffered for the same sort of thing. It's important to mention that this interview was published after episode 38 aired and Delicious Party still hasn't ended by then. And so now we're getting into comments about the last arc of the season. So the interviewer made a comment. The story is almost at its climax. We have a lot of mysteries so far. Hana says, the mysteries about the people in the past, Oishina Town, and Cook Kingdom have gradually become clear. You'll notice various kinds of stuff if you watch the past episodes. Takamori says, my kid has come to eat the foods which they weren't fond of. I've got such comments through Delicious Party Precure. I would be happy that kids get to have healthy feelings to express their love and have joyful and comforting meals through the anime. The situation will change as we approach its finale. But I hope you enjoy the incoming episodes, believing in a delicious party in the end. I really like this interview because it really showcases how they see each other characters and how much both Yui and Kome-Kome's voice actors like each other's characters, how much they understand their own characters and the others, their partners as well. And another thing that I found very interesting was Hana's comment on Narcisoru, because it really feels like she is a big fan of him and she really likes him as a character. So that is also another very interesting thing to pay attention to, because most of the things that they're saying in the interview is about themselves and about each other and their characters. And so she was able to showcase love for something else in the season that she's worked on. So that's also a very interesting thing to pay attention to. And to finish this video, I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to Inu and Climate Neutre that worked on this translation. Thank you very much for providing it to us and enriching our experiences as Precure fans. I really love this kind of thing. I find it really incredible. And I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel as well. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support, for standing by the channel, and for making me want to continue doing this. Thank you very much. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye!